Okay, we're live.
Hey.
Hey, Katrin.
Hey, hey.
So, this conversation we're having, you know, it's been a rough semester, I think, for a lot of us. And in that process, I think it's important for us to be mindful of the little things along the way that have made it bearable.
Mhm.
Um, but not just now, like on my end, is what has been something really good and positive that has happened to you that kind of keeps you going, um, that when we're like just kind of running out of steam, that gives you that boost to just plow right through.
So, I don't know about plow right through because I wish I had that at all times. But it's actually kind of like a funny, strange, but good memory that I have about actually getting into the program. Um,
Okay.
so, I was at work when I'm sure you received the same email saying, a decision has been made. Please check your email. To see the decision. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I get this notification on my phone. So I'm like fully prepared to plant the seed that I'm sick because I'm at work. So I'm like coughing. I'm like, I'm just gonna run to. I don't feel good. So I go into the bathroom, lock the door, and I'm trying to log onto my email. So I finally get on because I had forgotten my password. And then you had to log into like the Southern account, like where you had to apply. And of course, different password.
Yep.
Couldn't get in. So I'm like, at this point, it's been like 25 minutes. People probably think I died in the bathroom. Um, but I finally get in, to my account, and I find out that I got in. And it was like the weirdest feeling. It was almost like thank God, but also like, oh my God, now I have to like actually now I have to do this.
Uh-huh.
There's no going back. But it was just like a really, really good feeling. Like I was just excited for the journey ahead. I was thankful that I didn't have to pretend I was sick and go home and cry.
Yeah. Oh, you froze a little bit. Katrin, I'm waiting for you. You froze.
Wait,
Okay, you froze for a little bit.
okay, where did I leave off?
Okay, so your image. Okay, so you were glad that you didn't have to go home and cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just really excited about what was going to be in the future. And I didn't know that it would be meeting all of you, and I didn't know who was going to be in the class. I assumed it was going to be really small because they didn't even advertise it. But then, we got there, and it was the rest is history. So I think that experience is something that I can look back on and laugh, but also just reminding myself how lucky I am to be in this position. And that's just kind of something that I like to remind myself of.
Yeah. So what went into taking this plunge for you? Because yeah, I remembered like the process was very, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna submit the application, I'm gonna write this essay. So what was the process like for you? Oh, I lost you for a little bit again.
Oh no, am I
Okay,
back?
you're back.
So I realized that when I got my master's, I thought that I would have this, I don't know, some new knowledge of I don't know, I would understand more than I actually did. And I felt like the more I learned and understood and experienced in the field, the more like angry and confused I was. So I don't know. I wanted to go back and I wanted to learn more about the effects of trauma on the brain. I'm not even just saying this because this is about this class, I swear.
Yeah.
But just, I don't know. I wanted to not feel as frustrated with the systems issues and all of that. I wanted to kind of understand it more clearly. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I
No,
don't know.
not at all. Because
Kind of.
sometimes when we finish our master's degree, it's like, okay, I'm never going back to school again.
Exactly, and that's what I said. I mean, so many times.
Yeah.
But
So
then
then,
actually being in the field, it was like, wait a second, there's so much more that I felt like I needed to figure out. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think we're on the right path.
I think so too. So how did you find out about the program? Because this was a big event for you. But again,
Yeah.
I can remember from my own experience all the thoughts and the ambivalence leading up to it.
Yeah.
So and I do think back to how I found out about the program and how I decided to go into the program. But what was that like for you? Because this is definitely a significant, like it's taken over a big chunk of our lives right now.
Absolutely. So I found out about the program. I was actually in Dr. Tomczak's class, and he was saying, like, in the way future, this is like before I graduated, probably like my first year, so like years ago, in the near future that we're going to have a DSW program. I know it. I'm excited about it. You should all apply. And it's always been in the back of my mind, and I think at the time I'd be like, yeah, okay, like, sure, I'll never see you guys again. But I kept emailing Dr. Rowe. I probably harassed him like 6 different times. And he's like, okay, you're on the list. Like, I'll let you know. And that's how I kind of became aware of that this is actually happening.
So how did your family respond to you expressing interest around this? Oh no, you froze again.
Crazy for going back. But
so I lost you for a minute. I just caught you when you said that your family thought you were crazy for going back.
But very, very supportive.
Yeah.
I say that in the most loving way possible. I was very lucky. And yeah, I don't know. My boyfriend's been very supportive. I have been tired, as you can imagine, but just doing the right, cooking dinners and all of that. So I've been really, really fortunate in that way. I don't know if I could have done it without, the support that I have. And I know that's been something we've all talked about.
Yeah. So when you found out, who was the first person you called?
My dad, actually.
You did?
Yeah, and then my mom, and she cried.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was sweet. I think I was still in the bathroom at that point.
Didn't
come out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness. So how does that memory impact you now? Because I think that we can all remember when we realized, wow, now I really got to do this, right?
Right. I think just thinking about how I was feeling, I had no idea what to expect, how rigorous it was going to be. So definitely naive in that sense. I probably still am. We have 2 more years. I have no idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of excitement, I don't think that's left, even though it's filled with a lot more stress and some anxiety, a lot of anxiety. But it's still there, and I really am. I know that I made the right choice. I love the program. I love learning, continuing on this journey. So the feelings are all still there, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what do you hope to do with it?
That's a good question. I always thought that I wanted to one day end up in like a private practice. But now I'm like, what if I miss the chaos of like, this crisis work that I do? And I'm sure that'll fizzle out at one point. But why I liked this program was because there was that advanced clinical piece. It wasn't just the research teaching like so many other PhD programs. So that's what I thought was really cool about this program in particular. So definitely want to continue on that direct practice work that we're doing.
Okay. Do you have, I know you've mentioned trauma a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your specialty? Is that what you're hoping to kind of dive into?
It is. I love working with children and families. And the population I work with now in Hartford, it's incredible to see the number of lives that have been affected by trauma at such a young age. Working with the little ones, the 5 and 6 year olds. I run groups with that age and then see older clients individually. But it's crazy to see how many are affected that young, and and how many different traumatic experiences they've encountered at such a young age. So that's kind of fueled my drive to figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're going from the finding out that this program was a possibility, right? To, I'm sure, let me write this personal statement essay. let me submit this application. How much was the fee? Like 25, $50?
Yeah.
Yeah. To waiting, letting the clock tick, waiting for that email. And then you're in.
Yeah. And then I was like, wait, should I have even applied? Like, can I even do this? Like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
Yeah.
I still don't.
Yeah. And
but
here
all
we
definitely
are.
real raw feelings. Yeah, here we are.
But, I know for myself, like, it's been a very humbling experience.
Oh, yes.
But I'm convinced, and I keep telling, we are going to either hysterically laugh or hysterically cry when it is all over.
Maybe both. I don't know.
So I can definitely appreciate like the intensity of emotions that came along with, wow, I'm in. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay.
So many different emotions.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
So maybe we can move on to the second part of our exercise here.
So we're supposed to be identifying two different, what was the word I'm looking for, Jess? Why am I blanking?
I can't pull it up because I'm recording.
Okay, I'm going to do that right now. So 2 different qualities that our group felt was most effective. So I think you did a great job of summarizing for me. It's really late in the night and I'm tired and I'm like, wait, where's this train of thought going? But you brought it back for me, and I appreciated your prompting. So those are 2 that I definitely felt were really helpful for me as the person being interviewed.
Okay. And for me, because you can walk into a positive conversation and trying to steer it, but the passion that I knew, that I also shared, right, that we share as being part of this experience, also helped me guide, wow, like help me understand this is what it must have been for her. Right?
That's true, and I didn't even think about that going into it, that you also had, you had your experience of finding out that this is something that's very real for you also, and that you might have not been in the bathroom when that happened, but you also experienced that.
I think I was getting home from work, and I had come home from work a little earlier that day, and I looked at my emails before picking up my daughter from daycare, and I was like, okay, I just froze.
Yeah.
But again, from my own experience, right, all the thoughts that came to mind, like, I always wanted to do I knew I was going to do something, but I always said, yeah, when my kids go off to college. And at the time, my daughter was only 9 months, and here I was being faced with, so I completely got the life-changing decision that we had to make. So being able to relate made me excited for you because I remembered my own journey, to now.
Absolutely.
So that passion and that drive that I know you have for it also.
And it was helpful to see that, through the screen. I could see that in your face. So that, I think that also, I don't know, your excitement kind of triggered, not in a bad way, but just some of those memories and experiences and emotions that, were just exciting. So that was cool.
So, this was cool.
Yeah. Glad I got to see you.
I know, me too. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. So the other thing that came up for me was when we show genuine interest in the lives of the people that we work with, I think that it makes them it helps them to walk away feeling validated for their experiences. Right?
Absolutely.
So I'm wondering, right, how to remain mindful of that. To validate someone of their experience by showing interest. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was at a training today in Norwich, and they were talking about, is it easy or is it tough for you to be genuine with your clients? And I was transparent. I was like, it's not always easy. You're not always going to like every client that you have, and sometimes I have to work extra hard to find that piece that connects that person.
Oh, I lost you a little bit there. Sorry, you're back.
Okay, I'm back.
So it's not always easy to
okay.
connect, and it's hard to find that piece.
Yeah, but I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry. I think it might be my connection too. I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, no, we're saying that you went to that training and how in the process of showing enthusiasm, passion, and interest in our clients' lives, how sometimes that's not always easy.
Right. But when you are able to, I don't know, I guess fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay. I think we are good to go.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna end the recording, okay? We're at 15 minutes. Oh, actually, almost 16 minutes.
You can just cut that last minute.